All right, so today we're diving into 40 biggest new open world games that look absolutely insane. I'm talking massive maps, zero loading screens. I'll just explore for 5 minutes, turning into 3 hours, and worlds so detailed you forget what the main quest even was. From next-gen monsters to surprise projects nobody saw coming, this list is stacked with games that exist purely to ruin your free time in the best way possible. So grab a drink, cancel your plans, and let's get into it. Supreme Experiment is an upcoming first-person sci-fi action-adventure game developed by Argonaut Games, set in a haunting post-human world where machines have evolved into tribes and cults, worshipping their own gods while humanity teeters on the edge of extinction. Players will journey beyond towering remnants of human cities into eerie landscapes where silence follows the fall of machines, uncovering secrets through atmospheric exploration, immersive combat, and environmental storytelling. The narrative focuses on survival and discovery, challenging players to confront the truth behind humanity's downfall and the rise of mechanical societies. With its blend of philosophical undertones and cinematic world-building, Supreme Experiment promises a gripping experience for fans of narrative-driven shooters. The game is scheduled to launch in 2026 on PC via Steam.
For scraps. Searching for truth. An abandoned, poisoned wasteland, crawling with creatures beyond imagination. Down here, humans don't belong. For those who left the city, it's a one-way ticket. They go for a reason. This evolution of the machines was not random. There's something vast behind it. And it's coming for everyone, not just the machines. The people in the cities don't know it yet. But soon they will.
Samson, a Tyndalston story is a gritty, consequence-heavy noir action game from Liquid Swords, the studio founded by Christopher Sundberg, creator of the Just Cause franchise. Set in the unforgiving city of Tyndalston, players step into the shoes of Samson McRae, a man crushed by mounting debt and forced to survive through violence, desperation, and razor-sharp decisions. The game emphasizes raw physical combat and a reactive world where every choice carries weight, pushing players into a relentless loop of pressure and survival. Inspired by the intensity of Mad Max and the stylized grit of Max Payne, it blends cinematic storytelling with grounded mechanics to deliver a visceral, high-stakes experience. Samson, a Tyndalston story is slated for release in early 2026 on PC via Steam and the Epic Games Store.
You can curl up and die in the street, or you can fight the fuck back.
Forest 3 is the newly announced sequel from End Night Games, revealed at the Game Awards 2025 as the follow-up to The Forest and Sons of the Forest. Unlike its predecessors, which leaned heavily into grounded survival horror, Forest 3 introduces a striking sci-fi twist, blending eerie wilderness exploration with futuristic technology, crashed spaceships, and advanced machinery like shoulder-mounted cranes. The trailer showcased first-person gameplay in hostile environments filled with new dangers, promising a radical expansion of the series' survival mechanics while retaining its signature tension and dread. Fans can expect a mix of horror, resource management, and cinematic storytelling, now layered with unexpected sci-fi elements that push the franchise into bold new territory. Forest 3 is slated for release in 2026 on PC via Steam. Gang of Dragon is the highly anticipated action-adventure game from Nagoshi Studio, led by Toshihiro Nagoshi, the legendary creator behind the Yakuza series. Set in Tokyo's vibrant Kabukicho district, the game follows Shinji Seong, a powerful enforcer in a Korean crime syndicate portrayed by acclaimed actor Ma Dong-seok, Don Lee. Players will experience brutal hand-to-hand combat, cinematic storytelling, and intense human drama as Shin navigates the dangerous underworld of Shinjuku, balancing loyalty, survival, and vengeance. With its neon-soaked streets, visceral fights, and a narrative steeped in crime and betrayal, Gang of Dragon promises to deliver the gritty, character-driven experience fans of Nagoshi's work crave, while introducing fresh mechanics and a new cultural lens. The game is set to release in 2026 on PC via Steam.
Hey, Daiki, when'd you make it back?
Excuse me, sir. Shut your mouth.
All right, talk soon.
On your feet, now. Son of a... Fuck it! Just kill him!
No Law is the newly unveiled first-person open-world shooter RPG from Neon Giant, the Swedish studio behind The Ascent, and published by Krafton. Set in the cyber-noir city of Port Desire, the game follows Gray Harker, an ex-military veteran who abandons his violent past for a quiet life until his peace is shattered, forcing him to rely on Black Ops instincts and custom hardware to reclaim what was stolen. With immersive sim elements, branching choices, and a gritty atmosphere reminiscent of Cyberpunk 2077, No Law promises a blend of intense combat, narrative depth, and futuristic exploration. Players can expect a world filled with moral ambiguity, high-tech weaponry, and a story that challenges survival against corruption and betrayal. No Law is currently in development and will release in 2026 on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S.
The mayors and anyone that stands in my way, every last one of them. They're gonna learn something real simple. You reap what you sow.
The Godslayer is an ambitious, open-world steampunk fantasy RPG from Pythia Games, the studio behind the beloved My Time series. Set in an Eastern-inspired metropolis ruled by divine beings known as Celestials, the game casts players as an Elemancer who wields elemental powers to challenge and ultimately dethrone these oppressive gods. Blending martial arts-inspired combat with flashy elemental abilities, the Godslayer promises a mix of cinematic storytelling, dynamic exploration, and intense boss battles across a richly detailed world infused with steampunk aesthetics. The gameplay emphasizes freedom of choice, vengeance-driven narrative arcs, and a unique fusion of fantasy and industrial design, offering players a fresh take on the RPG genre. With its striking visuals and deep lore, it aims to stand out among upcoming titles by delivering both spectacle and substance. The Godslayer is scheduled to release in 2026 on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. Project Retrograde. The Becoming is a narrative-driven action survival game from Chinese developer Inversity Gameworks, blending parasitic horror with martial arts-inspired combat. Set in 1995, the story unfolds after humanity's last hope collapses when the underground world is shattered by the ancient parasite LUCA. Players take on the role of a bounty hunter symbiotically bound to the parasite, gaining dangerous powers that allow them to absorb combat memories from fallen hosts while struggling against the risk of being consumed. The game emphasizes exploration of ruined cities, scavenging for survival, and mastering a unique gung fu-centric combat system that fuses visceral melee with symbiote abilities. Drawing clear inspiration from Resident Evil while carving its own identity, Project Retrograde promises a tense, cinematic experience filled with moral ambiguity and apocalyptic mystery. Project Retrograde. The Becoming is currently in development with no confirmed release date, but it is planned for PC via Steam, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S.
Can you still be yourself?
I don't know. If I lose control, just kill me.
I will.
All our sacrifices! All ruin!
Longevity Yin and Yang is an upcoming wuxia-inspired action-adventure RPG developed by Chinese indie studio 11 Games, built on Unreal Engine 5 to deliver a visually stunning and immersive experience. Set in an alternate version of the Ming Dynasty, the game blends Chinese mythology with fantasy, creating a mysterious world filled with martial arts combat, exploration, and mythic storytelling. Gameplay emphasizes fast-paced, Souls-like mechanics including dodging, parrying, and grappling with a hook blade, while offering around 40 to 50 hours of single-player content with multiple difficulty and accessibility options. With its fusion of traditional culture and modern design, Longevity Yin and Yang aims to stand alongside titles like Sekiro and Black Myth, Wukong in both scale and ambition. Longevity Yin and Yang is scheduled to release in 2026 on PC via Steam.
何以除残去秽？
Blood Message is an upcoming AAA single-player action-adventure game from NetEase Games and 24 Entertainment's Linan Studio, marking NetEase's first fully single-player focused title. Set in the late Tang Dynasty during the Shaju Uprising of 848 AD, the story follows a nameless messenger and his son on a perilous 3,000-li journey eastward, battling relentless enemy sieges and surviving the harsh desert sands. The game blends cinematic storytelling with brutal survival combat, powered by Unreal Engine 5 and enhanced with proprietary technology to deliver heightened immersion. With its focus on loyalty, sacrifice, and the untold tales of common heroes rather than emperors or generals, Blood Message promises a deeply emotional and historically inspired experience. Blood Message is currently in development and will release in 2026 on PC and consoles.
Anya, 等着我。是对信使，每个人都做好了有去无回的打算。
I Hate This Place is an upcoming craft-focused, isometric survival horror game developed by Rock Square Thunder and published by Broken Mirror Games in partnership with Skybound Entertainment. Based on the comic by Kyle Starks and Artyom Topolin, the game thrusts players into a warped wilderness filled with grotesque monsters and twisted realities, all wrapped in a bold comic book art style dripping with an 80s horror vibe. Survival hinges on scavenging resources, crafting weapons, and fortifying shelters during the day, while preparing for terrifying nightfall when hordes of creatures emerge. With its dynamic day-night cycle, eerie atmosphere, and emphasis on player creativity, I Hate This Place promises a gruesome yet stylish take on survival horror that blends narrative depth with relentless tension. The game is set to release on January 29, 2026 for PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch.
As they will notice you. They do not see, but they hear the panic in a heartbeat.
Fine, I'll bite. If I die in there, I am haunting you.
If you die in there, perhaps we'll meet again. Under different circumstances.
Neverness to Everness is a supernatural urban open-world RPG developed by Hada Studio, the creators of Tower of Fantasy, and published by Perfect World Games. Set in an anomaly-filled futuristic city, players take on the role of espers, individuals with extraordinary powers who can freely navigate neon-soaked streets, battle supernatural threats, and shape their own lifestyles by managing businesses, forging alliances, or diving into combat-driven storylines. Unlike traditional anime RPGs, the game emphasizes vehicle gameplay, allowing players to drive through sprawling districts while engaging in sleek, character-based action. With its blend of supernatural mystery, urban exploration, and stylish combat, Neverness to Everness has been dubbed Anime GTA for its ambitious scope and vibrant design. The game will be free to play and is scheduled to release in 2026 on PC, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and mobile platforms. Under a Rock is a vibrant, procedurally generated, open-world survival crafting game developed by Nordic Trolls and published by Gameforge. Set in a mysterious, alternate evolutionary timeline, the game drops players onto a dangerous island where oversized wildlife, lingering Neanderthals, and supernatural curses shape every encounter. Each new playthrough generates a unique world, ensuring endless replayability as players scavenge resources, build bases, and battle hostile creatures. With support for up to 10-player co-op, it emphasizes teamwork and creativity, allowing groups to explore, craft, and survive together in richly colorful environments. Featuring deep character customization, dynamic ecosystems, and a mix of exploration and combat, Under a Rock aims to stand out in the crowded survival genre by blending unpredictability with accessibility. Under a Rock is currently planned for early access release on PC via Steam and the Epic Games Store in 2026. Light No Fire is the ambitious upcoming survival adventure game from Hello Games, the creators of No Man's Sky. Designed as a true Earth-size fantasy world, it blends the freedom of a survival sandbox with the depth of a role-playing game, allowing players to explore, build, and live together in a procedurally generated planet filled with diverse biomes, creatures, and mysteries. Unlike traditional open-world titles, its scale is meant to replicate the vastness of Earth itself, offering endless opportunities for discovery, settlement, and cooperative play. The game emphasizes creativity, exploration, and shared storytelling, with a colorful art style that evokes both wonder and danger. With its mix of survival mechanics, multiplayer collaboration, and RPG progression, Light No Fire aims to redefine the genre by merging infinite exploration with meaningful roleplay. Light No Fire is currently in development and is expected to release in 2026 on PC and consoles. Project Tal is a newly announced AAA open-world action RPG from developer Madden Gene and publisher We Made Max, inspired by Korea's traditional Tal masks and the rich mythology surrounding them. The game promises a deeply immersive fantasy world where players will battle colossal creatures, leap onto massive enemies to exploit weak points, and master tactical counterattacks and skill combos in fast-paced, cinematic combat. Alongside the protagonist, distinctive ally characters with unique personalities and abilities will join the journey, influencing both gameplay and narrative progression. With its blend of mythological storytelling, strategic combat, and expansive exploration, Project TAL aims to deliver a fresh cultural lens to the RPG genre. Project Tal is scheduled to release in 2027 on PC via Steam and Epic Games Store, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. Beast of Reincarnation is an ambitious, upcoming action role-playing game developed by Game Freak, marking the studio's first major AAA project outside of the Pokemon franchise. Directed by Kota Furushima, the game is set in the year 4026 in a post-apocalyptic Japan devastated by corruption, where players follow Emma the Sealer and her loyal dog Ku on a perilous journey through ruined lands. Described as a one-person, one-dog action RPG, it emphasizes demanding technical combat inspired by Sekiro and other Souls-like titles, with mechanics centered on dodging, parrying, and exploiting enemy weaknesses. The narrative blends mythological themes with survival storytelling, offering a deeply emotional experience that explores loyalty, sacrifice, and resilience in a corrupted world. With its mix of cinematic presentation, challenging gameplay, and Game Freak's signature creativity, Beast of Reincarnation is positioned as one of 2026's most anticipated RPGs. The game will release in 2026 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC via Steam.
4026年人類は滅亡を待つのみ。
The Relic First Guardian is an upcoming Korean action RPG developed by Project Cloud Games and published by Perp Games, blending dark fantasy with rich mythological storytelling. Players take on the role of a guardian tasked with gathering fragments of a powerful relic to seal away the encroaching void of darkness, exploring a mysterious world filled with forgotten voices and haunting landscapes. Unlike traditional Souls-like titles, the game notably avoids a stamina system, focusing instead on fluid cinematic swordplay, counterattacks, and exploration-driven combat. Its narrative emphasizes memory, legacy, and the restoration of stories lost to time, offering a deeply emotional journey through folklore-inspired environments. With its striking visuals, mythic atmosphere, and accessible yet challenging mechanics, the Relic First Guardian aims to stand out in the crowded RPG genre. The game is set to release on May 26, 2026 for PC, Steam, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. The Vernyhorn is a dark, atmospheric, open-world RPG developed by Polish studio Interstudio, inspired by early Slavic myths, beliefs, and the brutal realities of medieval life. Players will explore a meticulously crafted world built from real location scans of Poland, where every village, cave, and forest glade carries echoes of forgotten legends and meaningful secrets. Combat is designed with motion capture from fencing experts, emphasizing realism and tactical swordplay, while the narrative unfolds dynamically based on player choices, ensuring that every decision leaves lasting consequences. Unlike many expansive RPGs, the Vernyhorn avoids filler content, focusing instead on purposeful quests, rewarding exploration, and immersive storytelling rooted in cultural authenticity. With its blend of myth, history, and survival, the game promises a unique experience for fans of narrative-rich RPGs. The Vernyhorn is currently in development, with its release date yet to be announced, planned for PC via Steam. Valor Mortis is an upcoming single-player, first-person Souls-like action RPG developed by One More Level, the studio behind Ghost Runner, and published by Lyrical Games. Set in an alternate 19th century Eastern Europe, the game imagines a world where Napoleon's endless wars have unleashed a supernatural plague, resurrecting soldiers into monstrous undead. Players step into the role of William, a British soldier in the Grande Armée brought back to life by Napoleon, who must battle his corrupted comrades while uncovering the conspiracies behind the plague and his own resurrection. Featuring brutal, methodical combat, Metroidvania-inspired level design, and a narrative steeped in horror, corruption, and temptation, Valor Mortis promises a dark, challenging experience that blends historical fiction with supernatural dread. The game is scheduled to release in 2026 on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. Woochi The Wayfare is an upcoming single-player fantasy action-adventure game developed by Lore Vault and published by Nexon Games, inspired by Korea's Joseon era and steeped in traditional cultural motifs. The game promises a unique blend of myth, martial arts, and emotional storytelling, aiming to resonate with players worldwide while showcasing Nexon's development expertise. Set in a richly detailed historical fantasy world, players will embark on a journey filled with supernatural encounters, swordplay, and narrative depth that draws from Korean folklore. With its emphasis on immersive combat and cultural authenticity, Woochi The Wayfarer seeks to stand alongside other Asian-developed action titles like Black Myth, Wukong, and Wolong Fallen Dynasty. While the game has been announced for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, its release date remains unconfirmed.
기어코 여기까지. 참으로 정성이십니다.
Breathedge 2 is the sequel to the cult hit satirical survival game. Breathedge, developed by Red Ruin Softworks and published by Hype Train Digital. Expanding on the original's retro-futuristic humor and space survival mechanics, the game thrusts players into a reckless mission across outer space where they must build, craft, and manage their crew while fending off dangers from hostile environments and the ever-present evil space corporation. Unlike its predecessor, Breathedge 2 introduces larger planetary exploration, deeper RPG elements, and more complex automation systems, all while retaining the absurd charm of chickens in space and tongue-in-cheek storytelling. The narrative continues the saga of the reluctant protagonist, now tasked with dismantling the corporation once and for all, blending survival, adventure, and comedy into a sprawling interstellar journey. With its mix of immersive sim mechanics, base building, and exploration, the game aims to deliver both challenge and laughter in equal measure. Breathedge 2 is scheduled to release in the first quarter of 2026 on PC via Steam. Horizon Steel Frontiers is a newly announced MMORPG developed by NCSoft in collaboration with Guerrilla Games, expanding the acclaimed Horizon universe into large-scale online play. Revealed at G-Star 2025, the game is set in the Deadlands, a new frontier where machine hunters face colossal mechanical beasts in cooperative battles that blend Horizon's signature hunting action gameplay with advanced MMORPG systems. Built for cross-platform play, it introduces expansive social hubs, large-scale raids, and dynamic ecosystems that evolve with player interaction, while maintaining the franchise's hallmark of tactical combat and rich storytelling. Leveraging NCSoft's Purple platform, Horizon Steel Frontiers aims to merge console-quality visuals with persistent online worlds, offering both PC and mobile players a seamless experience. With its ambitious scope and collaboration between Sony Interactive Entertainment and NCSoft, the game is positioned as a bold new chapter in the Horizon saga. Horizon Steel Frontiers currently has no confirmed release date, but is planned for PC and mobile, iOS and Android, via NCSoft's Purple app. 007 First Light is the highly anticipated return of James Bond to video games, crafted by IO Interactive in collaboration with Amazon MGM Studios as a standalone reimagining of Bond's origin story. Rather than adapting a film, the game introduces players to a young, rebellious Royal Navy air crewman whose life takes a dramatic turn when he is recruited into MI6, setting the stage for his transformation into the iconic secret agent. IO Interactive, best known for the acclaimed Hitman franchise, promises a narrative-driven action-adventure that blends cinematic storytelling with stealth espionage and high-octane combat, all while exploring Bond's early struggles with identity, loyalty, and the moral ambiguities of spycraft. The world of First Light is designed to be immersive and richly detailed, spanning international locations filled with intrigue, danger, and stylish flair, while gameplay emphasizes player choice, improvisation, and the tension of living on the edge of discovery. With its fresh take on Bond's mythology, AAA production values, and IOI's proven expertise in stealth action design, 007 First Light is positioned as both a bold reinvention and a celebration of the character's enduring legacy, and it will launch worldwide on March 27th, 2026 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch 2, and PC. Aion 2 is NCSoft's ambitious reimagining of its legendary MMORPG franchise, designed as the ultimate edition that both honors and evolves the original's identity. Set 2 centuries after the events of Aion, the game thrusts players into a vast world 36 times larger than before, filled with ruins, relics, and the eternal conflict between Elios and Asmodeans. 8 enhanced classes return with modernized combat styles offering fluid mechanics and tactical depth across expansive PvE content and dynamic PvP encounters. The developers have emphasized innovations such as instant dungeon teleportation to streamline progression, while maintaining competitive systems that preserve the thrill of factional warfare. Built on NCSoft's Purple platform, Aion 2 integrates seamlessly with community features, ensuring accessibility and connectivity for players across regions. The narrative promises to explore themes of destiny and rebirth, while gameplay showcases a balance of exploration, survival, and large-scale battles that define the MMORPG genre. With its scale, technical upgrades, and focus on player agency, Aion 2 is positioned as a landmark sequel, and it officially launched at midnight on November 19, 2025 in Korea and Taiwan, with global release planned for PC via NCSoft's platform Purple.
다시 열린다. 이제 당신이 날아오를 시간. 아이온 2 그랜드 오픈.
ArcheAge Chronicles is XL Games' ambitious reimagining of its iconic MMORPG universe, designed as a narrative-driven action RPG that bridges the past and future of the franchise. Set 50 years after the events of the original ArcheAge, the game thrusts players back into Aurora, a land once wild and dangerous, now stirring back to life with new settlements rising from ancient ruins. Unlike its predecessor, Chronicles is not a traditional MMORPG, but a hybrid experience that emphasizes fast-paced combat, cinematic storytelling, and player-driven exploration while retaining the expansive, persistent world that defined the series. Developed by XLGAMES, and published globally by Kakao Games, the project was originally introduced as ArcheAge 2 before being renamed to highlight its narrative focus. The developers promise a blend of rich lore, dynamic environments, and cooperative systems that honor the franchise's legacy while evolving it for modern audiences. With Unreal Engine 5 powering its visuals, the game showcases breathtaking landscapes, fluid mechanics, and immersive encounters that elevate both solo and multiplayer play. Positioned as both sequel and reinvention, ArcheAge Chronicles is set to captivate fans of fantasy worlds and sandbox freedom, and it will release worldwide in 2026 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC via Steam and Epic Games Store.
Perhaps you might become one.
Atomic Heart 2 is the highly anticipated continuation of Mundfish's dystopian action RPG, announced at Summer Game Fest 2025 as a bold evolution of the retro-futuristic Soviet-era world that captivated players in the original. While the first game confined its horrors to isolated research facilities, the sequel expands the scope to a global stage, promising a cosmic journey where humanity's fate intertwines with bizarre technologies and supernatural forces. The narrative teases the return of the iconic ballerina twins, who will first reappear in the final DLC for Atomic Heart before taking center stage in the sequel, alongside new characters and factions that deepen the alternate history mythos. Gameplay enhancements include dual-wielding weapons and glove abilities, richer RPG systems with skill upgrades, and expanded combat strategies that emphasize improvisation and player choice. Mundfish has emphasized that Atomic Heart 2 will retain the surreal charm and unsettling atmosphere of its predecessor while delivering more cinematic storytelling, larger environments, and a wider variety of encounters that blur the line between science fiction and horror. With its ambitious scope, technical innovation, and narrative depth, Atomic Heart 2 is positioned as a landmark sequel in the genre, and it will release in 2027 on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. Black Myth Zhongqi is Game Science's newly announced action role-playing game, envisioned as a mythological epic that expands the studio's acclaimed Black Myth series into darker, more supernatural territory. Building on the global success of Black Myth Wukong, this title casts players as Zhongqi, the legendary demon hunter of Chinese folklore, tasked with confronting spirits, demons, and corrupted souls across richly detailed landscapes inspired by ancient Eastern myth. The narrative explores themes of duality, justice, and redemption, with Zhongqi portrayed as both judge and executioner, embodying the struggle between humanity and the supernatural. Powered by Unreal Engine, the game promises cinematic storytelling, fluid combat systems, and intricate weapon and skill designs that emphasize tactical mastery and mythic spectacle. Early trailers showcase haunting environments, colossal boss battles, and a tone steeped in cultural authenticity, positioning the game as both a celebration of Chinese heritage and a cutting-edge AAA experience. With its ambitious scope, narrative depth, and Game Science's proven artistry, Black Myth Zhongqi is set to captivate global audiences, and its release date is yet to be announced on PC and consoles. Chronicles Medieval is Raw Power Games' ambitious debut project, announced at Summer Game Fest 2025, and it promises to deliver a sweeping medieval sandbox that fuses role-playing depth, real-time strategy, and cinematic storytelling into one cohesive experience. Set in the brutal yet beautiful European world of the 14th and 15th centuries, the game allows players to step into the role of a knight navigating a living, breathing realm where every decision, whether forging alliances, commanding armies, or engaging in visceral sword-based combat, shapes the course of history. Narrated by actor Tom Hardy, the game emphasizes immersion through dynamic AI systems that simulate politics, warfare, and survival, ensuring that no two campaigns unfold the same way. Trailers have showcased massive battles with thousands of soldiers clashing across sprawling landscapes, underscoring the scale and ambition of the project. Chronicles Medieval positions itself as both a sandbox for player-driven storytelling and a tactical action game that captures the grit and grandeur of medieval life. With its blend of RPG progression, strategic depth, and cinematic flair, it is set to redefine the medieval genre, and it will release worldwide in 2026 on PC and consoles.
Go write your own.
Chrono Odyssey is Chrono Studios' ambitious MMORPG, developed in partnership with Kakao Games, that promises to redefine the genre with its vast open world of Cetera and unique time-bending mechanics known as the Chronotector. Players will explore a handcrafted fantasy realm filled with ruins, relics, and dynamic environments, while engaging in both large-scale PvE encounters and competitive PvP battles that emphasize tactical mastery and progression. The game's narrative is designed to immerse players in a struggle against cosmic forces, with branching paths and evolving challenges that reward exploration and cooperation. Built on Unreal Engine 5, Chrono Odyssey showcases breathtaking visuals, seamless transitions, and fluid combat systems that rival the best in the industry. Early beta tests revealed deep crafting systems, action-oriented combat, and a complex character creator, though developers have delayed launch to refine controls and polish gameplay based on community feedback. With its blend of cinematic storytelling, player agency, and technical innovation, Chrono Odyssey is positioned as one of the most anticipated MMORPGs of the decade, and it will release worldwide in late 2026 on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S.
The hands of fate. To save what remains of our broken worlds, you need only take my hand. Return to the past, where your journey.
Control Resonant is Remedy Entertainment's bold expansion of the Control universe, co-produced with Annapurna Pictures, and envisioned as a larger, more open-ended action-adventure RPG that welcomes both newcomers and longtime fans. Set in a paranaturally warped Manhattan, the game follows Dylan Faden, brother of Jesse Faden, as he is deployed by the Federal Bureau of Control during a reality-bending cosmic crisis. Armed with volatile new abilities and a shape-shifting melee weapon known as the Aberrant, Dylan must confront escalating supernatural threats while searching for his sister, weaving a narrative that explores family bonds, identity, and the consequences of wielding immense paranatural power. Remedy has emphasized that Resonant will build on the surreal architecture and impossible spaces that define the original Control, while expanding into a more open world filled with dynamic encounters, cinematic storytelling, and player-driven exploration. The reveal trailer, premiered at the Game Awards 2025, showcased haunting imagery of Manhattan distorted by cosmic forces, hinting at a darker, more ambitious chapter in the saga. With its AAA production values, narrative depth, and Remedy's signature blend of mystery and action, Control Resonant is positioned as a landmark sequel, and it will release in 2026 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, and Mac. Crimson Desert is Pearl Abyss's ambitious open-world action-adventure RPG, designed to immerse players in the brutal yet breathtaking continent of Pywell, where survival and loyalty are constantly tested. The narrative centers on Cliff, a weary mercenary burdened by the legacy of the Greymanes, a once proud band shattered by betrayal and war, who must rise again to reclaim honor and forge a new destiny. The game promises a blend of cinematic storytelling and freeform gameplay, allowing players to traverse vast landscapes, engage in visceral combat against both human foes and towering monsters, and uncover secrets hidden in Pywell's diverse regions. Pearl Abyss has emphasized dynamic systems that encourage improvisation, from loot collection and crafting to large-scale battles that highlight the tension between personal struggle and epic conflict. Trailers have showcased next-generation visuals powered by proprietary technology, with sweeping vistas, intricate character detail, and fluid animations that elevate immersion to new heights. Crimson Desert is positioned as both a spiritual successor to Black Desert and a bold, standalone experience, offering players freedom, consequence, and spectacle in equal measure. With its narrative depth, technical innovation, and focus on Cliff's journey, Crimson Desert is set to redefine the RPG landscape, and it will release worldwide on March 19th, 2026 for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S.
Who you are, and let it guide your path. For at the end of it, you will find the answers you seek.
Divinity is a flagship RPG from Larian Studios revealed at the Game Awards 2025 as the studio's most ambitious project to date, marking a dramatic return to the legendary world of Rivellon. Building on the success of Baldur's Gate 3, Larian is channeling its mastery of cinematic storytelling and complex role-playing systems into a darker, more mythic vision where gods have fallen silent, Rivellon bleeds, and new powers rise to challenge the fragile balance of existence. The announcement trailer stunned audiences with its haunting imagery of sacrifice and transformation, showcasing a prisoner consumed by fire who erupts into a demonic force, symbolizing the game's themes of mortality, corruption, and rebirth. Unlike its predecessors, Divinity is designed to be accessible to newcomers while rewarding veterans with deeper continuity, offering expansive freedom of choice, branching narratives, and visceral combat that blends tactical precision with cinematic flair. Larian promises a world alive with consequence, where every decision shapes the fate of Rivellon, and where myth and horror intertwine to create a truly epic role-playing experience. With its bold vision, AAA production values, and narrative depth, Divinity is positioned as both a celebration of the studio's legacy and a daring leap forward, and it is slated for release in 2027 on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. Fable is Playground Games' highly anticipated reboot of the legendary action role-playing franchise, marking the first new installment since Fable: The Journey in 2012. Set once again in the whimsical yet morally complex world of Albion, the game promises to blend the series' trademark humor, player choice, and fantastical storytelling with cutting-edge visuals powered by the Forza Tech engine. Players will embark on a journey where every decision shapes the world around them, balancing heroism and mischief in a land filled with mythical creatures, sprawling towns, and richly detailed landscapes. The reboot aims to modernize classic mechanics such as branching morality, dynamic NPC interactions, and open-world exploration, while introducing fresh systems that expand combat, customization, and narrative depth. With a team led by Ralph Fulton and writers including Anna McGill and Andrew Walsh, the project emphasizes cinematic storytelling and immersive design, ensuring both longtime fans and newcomers experience Albion in a way that feels both nostalgic and revolutionary. Positioned as a cornerstone of Xbox Game Studios' lineup, Fable is set to redefine fantasy RPGs for a new generation, and it will release in 2026 on Windows PC and Xbox Series X and S.
Terrifying. So, yeah, I knew this girl once who made all the wrong choices.
Humphrey. She's back.
Forza Horizon 6 is Playground Games' most ambitious entry in the beloved open-world racing franchise, finally delivering the long-requested setting of Japan, revealed during the Tokyo Game Show 2025. The game transports players to a richly detailed recreation of Japan's diverse landscapes, from neon-lit city streets and mountain passes near Mount Fuji to tranquil countryside roads, offering a cultural backdrop that fans have dreamed of for years. Building on the success of Horizon 5, this installment introduces a dynamic weather system that transforms driving conditions in real time, alongside an expanded car roster and deeper customization options that allow players to fine-tune both performance and aesthetics. The Horizon Festival returns with a new narrative focus on becoming a racing legend in Japan, blending traditional festival flair with modern automotive culture. Multiplayer and community features are enhanced, promising seamless integration with Game Pass and cross-platform play, while visuals push next-gen fidelity to new heights. With its combination of breathtaking scenery, technical innovation, and fan-driven design, Forza Horizon 6 is positioned as a landmark racing experience, and it will release in 2026 on Xbox Series X and S and PC, with PlayStation 5 support arriving after launch. GTA 6 is Rockstar Games' most ambitious project yet, a sprawling crime epic set in the fictional U.S. state of Leonida, which reimagines Vice City in stunning detail while expanding into surrounding rural regions, swamps, and highways inspired by Florida's diverse geography. The story follows dual protagonists Lucia Caminos and Jason Duvall, whose Bonnie and Clyde-style partnership drives a narrative of survival, betrayal, and conspiracy, weaving together personal drama with the larger criminal underworld. Rockstar has promised groundbreaking innovations including enhanced weapon systems, improved stealth mechanics, and smarter police AI that reacts dynamically to player actions, alongside a living world filled with bustling nightlife, evolving ecosystems, and richly interactive environments. The game's cinematic storytelling is paired with unprecedented technical fidelity, leveraging next-gen hardware to deliver seamless transitions between cutscenes and gameplay, photorealistic visuals, and immersive audio design. GTA 6 is positioned not only as a continuation of the franchise's legacy, but as a reinvention of the open-world genre, offering players freedom, consequence, and spectacle on a scale never before seen. After years of speculation and anticipation, Rockstar has confirmed that GTA 6 will release globally on May 26, 2026, launching first on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S, with a PC version expected later.
Hey, if you got friends, can you hook me up, please?
Marvel's Wolverine is Insomniac Games' bold new venture into the darker side of superhero storytelling, a visceral action-adventure that promises to capture the raw intensity of Logan's world while expanding the Marvel gaming universe beyond Spider-Man. Set across diverse locations including Madripoor's neon-lit underworld, Canada's frozen wilderness, and Tokyo's bustling streets, the game explores Wolverine's struggle with identity, rage, and redemption, weaving a narrative that balances brutal combat with emotional depth. Actor Liam McIntyre brings Logan to life, embodying both his feral instincts and his vulnerability, while gameplay showcases fast, fluid mechanics, cinematic set pieces, and a focus on claws-first improvisation that highlights Wolverine's unique fighting style. Insomniac's pedigree ensures richly detailed environments, dynamic storytelling, and a tone that embraces the grit and consequences of Wolverine's choices, making this a mature, character-driven experience unlike any other Marvel title. With its striking cover art designed by comic artist Jock and its promise of AAA production values, Marvel's Wolverine is positioned as a landmark superhero game, and it will release exclusively on PlayStation 5 in fall 2026.
I ain't no hero. I'm Wolverine.
Mortal Shell 2 is Cold Symmetry's ambitious follow-up to their cult hit Souls-like, revealed during Summer Game Fest 2025 as a darker, faster, and more expansive evolution of the original. The sequel strips away stamina restrictions to deliver relentless, adrenaline-fueled combat, encouraging aggressive playstyles while still demanding precision and tactical mastery. Players will wield brutal new weapons, from demonic crossbows to shotgun-like firearms, alongside grotesque new shells that grant unique abilities and playstyles, deepening the strategic layer of combat. The world itself expands into a beta-ready open environment filled with over 60 dungeons, each designed to test endurance and adaptability against nightmare-fueled enemies. Cold Symmetry has emphasized extensive upgrade paths, more varied tactics to shatter defenses, and cinematic storytelling that heightens the bleak, heavy metal-inspired atmosphere. With its combination of punishing difficulty, expanded mechanics, and grotesque artistry, Mortal Shell 2 is positioned as a landmark Souls-like experience, and it will release in 2026 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic is the newly announced single-player, narrative-driven RPG from Archanaut Studios, revealed at the Game Awards 2025 under the creative leadership of Casey Hudson, the legendary director behind Knights of the Old Republic and the Mass Effect trilogy. Positioned as a spiritual successor to Knights of the Old Republic rather than a direct sequel, the game promises an entirely new cast of characters and a fresh storyline set in the mythic era of the Old Republic, where the galaxy teeters on the edge of rebirth and every choice carries profound consequences. Lucasfilm Games has emphasized that Fate of the Old Republic will explore themes of destiny, morality, and the eternal struggle between light and darkness, offering players branching paths that define their role in shaping galactic history. The announcement trailer teased haunting imagery of Jedi and Sith locked in conflict, mysterious ruins, and a galaxy alive with political intrigue, underscoring the game's ambition to deliver cinematic storytelling alongside deep role-playing systems. With its pedigree of veteran developers, AAA production values, and a focus on player agency, Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic is set to become a landmark entry in the franchise, and it is slated for release before 2030 on PC and consoles. The Blood of Dawnwalker is Rebel Wolves' ambitious new action RPG, unveiled in early 2025 as the studio's first major project since its founding by former CD Projekt Red veterans. Set against the backdrop of 14th century Europe ravaged by plague and war, the game thrusts players into a world where vampires and other creatures of the night seize power amidst humanity's weakness. Players take on the role of Cohen, a young man transformed into a Dawnwalker, neither fully human nor entirely vampire, who must navigate a 30-day struggle to save his family while balancing cursed powers with fragile humanity. The narrative emphasizes choice and consequence, with branching paths that determine whether Cohen embraces his vampiric nature or fights to preserve his soul. Gameplay promises a mix of melee combat, supernatural abilities, and exploration across a richly detailed open world, enhanced by a dynamic day-night cycle that alters encounters and enemy behavior. Rebel Wolves has described the title as a narrative sandbox, blending cinematic storytelling with player agency, while trailers showcase haunting medieval landscapes, grotesque vampire adversaries, and atmospheric tension. With its pedigree of veteran developers, thematic depth, and cutting-edge Unreal Engine 5 visuals, The Blood of Dawnwalker is positioned as a landmark dark fantasy RPG, and it is slated for release in 2026 on PC and next-gen consoles.
Trapped between the two worlds. Fighting to even the score. Fighting to understand the evil behind it all.
He is out there, watching, seeping into you, growing.
The Witcher 4 is the highly anticipated next chapter in CD Projekt Red's acclaimed dark fantasy saga, unveiled at the Game Awards 2024 as the beginning of a brand new Witcher storyline. This time, players step into the role of Ciri, now a fully realized Witcher, as she embarks on a perilous journey through the treacherous and never-before-seen northern kingdom of Kovir. The narrative promises to explore themes of destiny, sacrifice, and rebirth, with Ciri confronting monsters both literal and metaphorical, including a haunting contract in a remote village plagued by ritualistic horrors. Powered by Unreal Engine 5, the game is designed to deliver unprecedented immersion with vast open-world environments, dynamic weather systems, and cutting-edge visual fidelity that redefine what a Witcher game can be, thewitcher.com. CD Projekt Red has emphasized that this installment is not just a continuation but a reinvention, blending cinematic storytelling with player-driven choices that will shape Rivellon's fate in ways both intimate and epic. With its ambitious scope, technical innovation, and focus on Ciri's evolution as a protagonist, The Witcher 4 is positioned as a landmark RPG experience, and it is slated for release in 2027 on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. Tides of Annihilation is Eclipse Glow Games' ambitious reimagining of Arthurian legend, a co-op action-adventure that seeks to reinvent the medieval tales of Camelot through cinematic storytelling and visceral combat. Powered by Unreal Engine 5, the game thrusts players into a mythic world where knights, sorcery, and betrayal collide, offering both solo and cooperative play across richly detailed environments. The narrative promises to explore themes of loyalty, destiny, and sacrifice, while gameplay emphasizes fluid melee mechanics, spellcasting, and tactical teamwork against formidable foes. Early trailers have showcased massive boss encounters, including Tyranno the Ferryman, one of more than 30 bosses players will face, highlighting the game's scale and intensity. With its blend of historical inspiration and fantastical spectacle, Tides of Annihilation positions itself as a bold new entry in the action-adventure genre, designed to captivate fans of myth, lore, and cooperative gameplay alike. Slated for release in 2026, the game will launch on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S.
This is your final warning.
And yeah, that's 40 open world games ready to absolutely destroy your free time. Some of these will become your new obsession. Some will live rent-free in your head for months, and a few will make you say, just one more quest at 3 a.m. If I missed a game you're insanely hyped for, drop it in the comments. I know there's at least one. Hit like if your backlog just got worse, subscribe if you enjoy suffering in massive open worlds, and I'll see you in the next one.